Three people have been arrested after the death of child killer Kyle Bevan. Now, he was found in his cell yesterday morning, Wednesday, the 5th of November at 8:25 a.m. Now, I do have some inside information, people, about what actually happened. And I have had a look at all the different press articles, and not one of them have got this information as of yet. So, before we start, Bacon Basher, there's my little statue there, pig with the boxing gloves on. Another one bites the dust. Child killer has been murdered inside of Hmp Wakefield. I will go a little bit into the case further on, but I will tell you what has happened to him. So 33-year-old Kyle Bevan was jailed for murdering his partner's 2-year-old daughter, Lola James, in Pembrokeshire in 2020. And he was sentenced to life with a minimum term of 28 years. This was an absolutely despicable and horrendous crime that he committed on that defenceless 2-year-old. But there is more details to the case, which is absolutely, truly shocking. But I'm going to get down to the nitty-gritty, because it is. These are my merchandise that I have on my website. The link is in the description. Bacon Bashers. It is Bacon Basher season, and it is a free-for-all. Because as we know, one of the worst, who was murdered, Ian Watkins, was murdered only a couple of weeks ago, also inside of Hmp Wakefield. And if you have been watching the video that I done last week, I done a video saying who's next. I done a list of 5 high-profile Bacons who will be on the list, and they are absolutely shitting themselves, thinking, are they next? And rightly so, for what they are in prison for. 5 of them, if you didn't see, I'll link the video to the end of this one if you want to go and watch it. But the likes of Kyle Bevan, there's a load of them like this in the system who aren't as high profile as the other ones that I've spoke about. But I will be doing another list of some more, which I didn't list. I just put the 5 that are the most high profile, which I believe that have been in the press the most and committed the most heinous of crimes. But I will be doing another list. But like I said, when the normal location lads are getting mixed in with these, they're having to live with them, they've got nothing to lose, then they are committing these deeds and getting rid of them and doing a public service, getting rid of these vermin. So, he was found yesterday morning, 8:25 a.m. And looking at the news articles, because when someone did send us it at first, when I first woke up, I thought, oh, it's happened in the morning, a bit like Watkins. They must have gotten him at unlock. But no, I've got the inside info where the previous night, the 3 people, or the 3 that have been arrested, obviously the CCTV will have went back and they've seen these 3 coming out of the pad the previous night. So he was actually murdered on Tuesday night and he was found Wednesday morning. And you might think, well, how come he went unnoticed? How come the screws didn't see that he was lying dead, being slaughtered inside the pad? Well, what had actually happened is, I don't know the exact details about who's done it and who the 3 are. I'm waiting on confirmation on this. But these 3 said prisoners have given him the beating of his life. And the final blow, or the one that killed him, was by strangulation. They've stopped his breathing through his windpipe. So they've either had something around his neck or they've had him in a chokehold and they've squeezed the life out of him, took every last breath out of that bacon and ended his life. So whether or not it was just 1 or 2 of them, 3 of them were in the pad. By the time they've come out, he's inside, gone. And like I say, the death was through strangulation. So, and like I've just said in the beginning of the video as well, if you go and have a look on the news articles now, there's nothing mentioned of this. Obviously, I've got the inside info, but I do bet you anything within an hour of this going out, these press articles will change and they will be copying me video because they've done it previously. But previously, when they've done it, they have linked my YouTube channel in to give us a bit, not notification, to give us a bit what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, give us a bit appreciation for me channel. That's where the information has come from. Because the sneaky gets, sometimes they'll put a story in where they're getting it from me channel and they'll not give us any, can't even think of the word, sorry about that. They won't give us any appreciation, that's the word I'm going to use. I was going to say notification, doesn't matter. But anyways, that is exactly what has happened. But like I say, they will be putting these articles out after they've seen me video. And obviously there will be a police press interview, or they'll release a statement probably telling you exactly what happened. Bit like I've just said, but Hmp Wakefield, also known as Monster Mansion, like I've said previously as well, it used to be 90% bacons, and if anyone is just new to the channel today, bacon bonds rhymes with nonce. Nonce, we all know what that is, an S offender. It's just the terms you've got to use on here sometimes so that it doesn't flag up, because when you say certain terms, it gets flagged up and the video will be took down. So if you use these nicknames, which they use inside of prison, it's prison slang where they are a bacon and the bacons are getting bashed. But it's now sick. It used to be 90-10, 90% S offenders, 10% normal location lads, and it is now 60-40. 60% S offenders, 40% normal location lads. The normal location lads are sometimes sent there against their own will. They don't want to go there, but they've been sent there, so they think, right, you've sent me here. I don't want to be here. I'm doing life without parole, or I'm doing a minimum of 40 years. It's not going to make any difference to me, apart from I'll get shipped out of prison, which is exactly what I want. So I'll end up bacon right here and now. Then I'll get a bit noticed throughout the system as someone that took out one of the bacons, and he'll get welcomed in the other prisons off the other lads when he gets moved up to either Franklin, Long Lawton, Full Sutton, Whitemore. You'll get an appreciation of the other lads when he comes into the prison, saying, well done, kidder, for doing that. Another one off. Another one bites the dust. So now I'm going to talk a bit about this horrible cretin, this horrible piece of vermin. Now, so Lola, the 2-year-old lassie, horrendous what happened to her. Believe it or not, the mother, which I'm going to go into, she witnessed this. She knew what was going on. She was only sentenced to 6 years imprisonment for allowing the death of a child. She should have been given the same sentence as him, because if she didn't allow him in, this would never have happened. So Lola died on July the 21st, 2020 as a result of horrendous injuries which were inflicted by Kyle Bevan in what must have been a frenzied and extremely violent attack on a helpless 2-year-old child, which, when I've looked into a few different articles, it actually went on for 6 hours. How a man could do that to a child. But it wasn't just that day and that attack. This had been going on over a period of months. Lola had 101 external injuries to her body, and her death was caused by catastrophic brain injury, likely caused by blunt force trauma, punching, shaking, or a combination of both. Bevan delayed raising the alarm and seeking medical attention for at least an hour after he inflicted the fatal injuries, and in the time since he has shown no remorse, emotion, or any care whatsoever. So he deserved, and he got exactly what was karma. He got exactly what he deserved. Consumed by his own self-preservation, Bevan lied and fabricated an accidental stair fall to try and cover his tracks. But with the help of medical experts, we have been able to prove that his actions were deliberate, abhorrent, and evil. Lola should have been able to rely on her own mother to keep her safe from harm and physical risk. However, Sinead James seriously failed in her duty towards her daughter. She was, or at least ought to have been, well aware of the risk of violence which Bevan posed to her child, but did nothing to protect Lola from the danger which he presented. They hadn't even been together hardly. I'm going to go into it as well, but they had only been together a small amount of time before she actually moved him in. The incident occurred during the COVID-19 pandemic, when they were locked down, couldn't go to anyone for help. How afraid that young child must have been. Sinead James struck up a new relationship with Kyle Bevan in February 2020 and allowed him into her life, moving him in with her after only knowing each other for a day. There was then a period of lockdown where Kyle Bevan remained and lived within Sinead James's household of their new relationship. This investigation commenced after police officers were called to Princess Royal Way in Haverfordwest on Friday, July the 17th, 2020, to the report of an injured 2-year-old child falsely presented by Bevans as a stair fall. Tragically, Lola James had suffered a significant brain injury and died 3 days later on July the 20th. Medical experts subsequently noted 101 separate injuries to her body, most of which were determined as abusive inflicted injuries. They were deemed to be non-accidental and non-consistent with a stair fall. So he tried to say that the dog had knocked her down the stairs, and that's how she got all these injuries. A significant volume of probative evidence was gathered that contradicted the lies of Bevans, with compelling medical expert opinion being critical. What an absolute monster to inflict that amount of injuries on a 2-year-old child. But there is a lot more in this article that I'm reading, but you get the picture, you get everything, all the facts here, what I've just read about what he actually done. But that horrible woman as well, who put him over her daughter and stood there and watched him beat and do whatever to her daughter, over a matter of months and not do anything about it. Then on the day that she was actually murdered, she just stood by and let it happen. Where was she at? It says that he was the one that called for medical help and took her to the hospital. Where the fuck was she at? What was she doing? She should have been taken to the hospital. She should have been ringing the police saying, he's beating me daughter. But no, she's let it go on and she got 6 years for allowing it. It's absolutely disgraceful. She will probably be getting the same. Well, he should be out of prison now, to be honest. Hopefully she got a bit of prison justice as well off the other lasses inside of prison who have got daughters and kids and doesn't like this type of behaviour. Hopefully she was meted out with a bit of punishment off the lasses inside. But again, absolutely despicable. 6 year sentence, would have served 3. And that poor lassie never even seen her 3rd birthday because them 2 cowards didn't do anything. But that coward beat the poor defenceless child to death. And then that coward of a woman didn't stop it. She put the love of Kyle Bevan over her daughter. Well, I hope she's feeling a bit pain knowing that Kyle Bevan is gone now. Knowing that he's been ended the same way as that child was. Hopefully he suffered a lot longer as well. Well, it couldn't have been longer because there's not enough time. She suffered over months. But hopefully it went on for a good hour inside that pad where they were inflicting serious injuries on him. But again, I don't know who the prisoners are that have done it. It could be Bacon's as well, because it has been known when Richard Huckle was murdered inside a prison as well. He done some stuff to Huckle, got him bent over the bed and everything, done some despicable things to him. What he said was a bit punishment for what he'd done to the kids. So that might have happened in this case. It could have been 3 Bacons that's got him down on the bed and done whatever. But I don't know if I forgot to mention actually, the reason why they didn't find him straight away was because after they inflicted the serious blows on him and ended his life, they actually put him back into bed. So when the screws were doing the roll call on a night time, they look through the flap, they see him and think, oh, he's asleep, he's in bed. Which a lot of lads do. They go to sleep early inside a jail, so they're normally inside the bed, so it would look like he was tucked up. But when they've come round in the morning doing the roll checks, maybe he's for work or whatever, and he's still not getting up, they would have opened the door, shouted at him, seen he's unresponsive. They would have gotten a shock when they pulled the quilts back and seen his face battered and bruised, and he was lying there dead. met his maker inside of Hmp Wakefield. But I will leave that one there for now, people. Hopefully you are enjoying the content. And if you are, remember to comment, like, and subscribe. I'll be releasing this video a lot earlier than what I normally do with the other ones, because with us having that inside info, I want this out before the papers get onto it. But watch it. Just after this, go and watch the news articles. And if you are watching this and you are a news article, a journalist, and you want to put a statement in, or you want to put something in, make sure you put Behind Bars TV and link us in. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. And more importantly, stay safe.